Now that we know how to convert fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions, you can now be given a list of numbers and be able to put them in order either from least to greatest or greatest to least. Note that I gave you that what ascending means and what descending means. Okay, descending means go down, ascending means go up. So the biggest thing to putting numbers in order is that they have got to be the same format. You cannot compare them if they're not in the same format. Meaning they've all got to be fractions or they've all got to be decimals. The thing to note about making them all fractions is that the denominators have to be the same. This is the main reason that putting them in decimal format typically tends to be a little bit easier. So the first thing to do is let's convert these fractions into decimal format. So to convert 9/10, we have to divide 9 by 10. 10 can't go into 9. We put our placeholder, our decimal. We add our decimal and our 0. 10 goes into 99 times. 9 times 10 is 90. So 9/10 is equal to 0.9. For 7/4, 4 goes into 7 1 times. 1 times 4 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. Add a decimal point and bring it up. Add a 0, bring it down. 4 goes into 37 times. 7 times 4 is 28. 30 minus 28 is 2. Add a second 0, bring it down. 4 goes into 25 times, and 5 times 4 is 20. So 7/4 is 1.75. Now to put these in order, we look at the numbers and we see we have 0.5, 0.9, 1.7, 1.75, and 0.53. With 0.5, if we were to fill in a 0 afterwards, you can fill in as many zeros before or many zeros after. It makes seeing whether 0.50 or 0.53 is bigger. So we should note that if we have 0.50 and 0.53, that's going to tell us that 0.50 is smaller. We are asked to put them in ascending order, meaning going up. So the lowest number is 0.5 or 0.50. Next comes 0.53. And then we have 0.9. And then we have 1.7 and 1.75. Again, if we were to add a 0 after the 70, just so that both of them have the same amount of numbers after the decimal, we would note that 1.70 is smaller than 1.75. In order to put these numbers in order, they have to go back to their original format. So 0.50 was 0.5. 0.53 was 0.53. 0.9 was 9/10. 1.70 was 1.7, and 1.75 was 7/4. So for these, first thing I did was I made them all the same format, in this case decimals. And then I made sure that each decimal had the same number of numbers after it, meaning all of them had 2 numbers after the decimal because it makes it easier to compare that way. Then I put the decimals in order, and then I converted them back into their original formats.